Hey folks, so a lot of you are searching for a text chunk breaker for ChatGPT, and I just want to show you that we don't really need a text chunk breaker now. Okay, now let's just very quickly take a look at why did you need a text chunk breaker in the first place, right? So earlier we used to have these memory limitations in ChatGPT, right? That way, if you let's say if you tried to send a long message. Now this is I copy pasted this book. This one has 587k words. This is War and Peace, so almost 600,000 words. I pasted this into ChatGPT and I just asked it, hey, can you summarize this book for me? And as you can see, if I just try to send it, then the send button is grayed out and it just says that the message is too long and I need to sort of break it down. Earlier, now they have increased this character limit that we have for sending messages. I will get to that just in a bit. But earlier they have increased that limit now. But earlier what used to happen is that this limit was very small. And what people used to do is that we used to enter things like, hello buddy, before we work together, I need to give you some information. I'll send them in chunks. You will have to read all of them before I give you more instructions. Do you understand? Here is the first piece. Please read it and confirm you did read it, and so on. So once you have sent the first chunk and ChatGPT confirms, yeah, I have read it, then you send the second one, then the third one, and so on, right? Now, there were tools like these that we have. I will link everything that I cover in this video down in the description. So we used to have tools like these, right, where you could just simply paste your block of text and you could enter the chunk size. Let's say earlier in the earlier versions of ChatGPT, they used to have this 4,000 word limit. So the limit was quite less, and people, if they wanted to do something like give it a 10,000 word document or something, then they used to use chunk size like 2 or 3 chunks, and you could change the max word size here. And then let's say if I paste the entire War and Peace novel here, then it would sort of give me like this is almost 600,000 words long, and if each chunk is 500 words, then you can imagine that we will be having like over 1,000 chunks, almost 1,200 chunks. So yeah, it doesn't really make sense, right? That I'm not going to go to ChatGPT and just say, hey, I'm going to pass you this chunk and then do that 1,000 times. It doesn't make sense in this case, does it? Right? Now, what has ended up happening is that OpenAI has increased the limit massively. So there's this thing that we called as context windows. Okay. Now, just a very quick explainer of what a context window is, and this is just a bit of theory, so stick with me. So how do I explain context window in layman terms? I just simply ask ChatGPT to do so. So a simple way to explain a context window is to compare it to short-term memory while having a conversation. So simple explanation is that you can think of a context window like the amount of text an AI can remember at one time while responding. If the conversation gets longer than that limit, the AI starts forgetting the earliest parts to make space for new information. So imagine you are talking to someone who can only remember the last few minutes of the conversation. If the discussion stays within those minutes, they remember everything. If the conversation goes on too long, they forget the beginning. That memory span is basically the context window. Or another way to explain is that picture the AI having a desk with limited space for sticky notes. Each message adds a sticky note. When the desk fills up, the oldest notes fall off. The desk size is essentially the context window. So context window is the maximum amount of text an AI can consider at once while generating a response. Okay. So this is what context window is. And earlier, as I was telling you, this context window used to be just 4,000 tokens. Now, what are tokens? Just a simple thumb rule is that you can think that one token is one word, right? So if I say that, let's say this sentence, okay, please note that this only applies when you manually select thinking. So this will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 11 tokens. Okay. So kind of think of it like that way. Now we have got a good amount of limit in the free version of ChatGPT. I'm using the free version, by the way, here, as you can see. Yep. So there you can see that I'm on the free plan, and they have a pretty good generous limit in the free tier. So they give you a limit of 16,000 tokens, so almost 16,000 words. If you are on any of their paid tiers, which is the plus and the business, then you get a context limit of 32,000, and then pro and enterprise customers have an even longer context window of 128,000. So, and if you enable thinking, And this is another hack that you can sort of use to kind of work your way and further increase this 16,000 limit. This works for free users as well. As I have seen, this is not very well documented, just keep that in mind, but I have read on Reddit that if you enable thinking, then that limit gets further raised. Okay, they do mention this for the pro tiers and all paid tiers, that if you are enabling the thinking toggle, and if you are using GPT 5.4 thinking, GPT 5.4 is the latest model at the time of recording this video that OpenAI has, and GPT 5.3 instant is also one of the latest models. So in that case, if you enable the thinking mode, and how you enable thinking is that you go here, you click on this plus toggle. Let me just do it here. You click on this plus toggle, and you just simply click on thinking, right? And that will enable thinking. And you can just click on this cross icon if you just want to disable it. Okay, so if you do that, then what happens is that you get even extended context window. So you can have this 207, almost 400,000 context window is present. So that includes almost 300,000 tokens worth of input and 128,000 tokens of output. So output is the text that ChatGPT outputs, and input is essentially what the information that you are feeding to ChatGPT. And for all paid tiers, it is 256,000, so 128,000 inputs and 128,000 output. Okay, so that is what we have. But even if you are on the free tier, and let's say you want to do something like summarize this book, right? A quick workaround for that is that you can use file uploads. Now, how does that help? And if I just scroll down, then this is where you will see the actual hack that we have. Is that so firstly, these are the limitations that we have. That here you can see that all text and documents uploaded to a GPT or to a ChatGPT conversation are capped at 2 million tokens per file. So what I ended up doing is that I took that War and Peace ebook, I put that into a TXT file, and now you can see that, hey, I can actually send the message, and I will actually do that, right? So that is almost 600,000 bit of information, and it is now reading the documents, and it will act on the prompt, right? And then it will just give me the summary of the book. So if you want, then yes, you can condense all the information that you have into a file and pass that over to ChatGPT in a file. But do note that there are certain limits. Okay, so all files uploaded to a GPT or a ChatGPT conversation have a hard limit of 512 MBs per file. This is very big. So mostly, I don't think a lot of users will run into this issue if you have like a TXT file or document or a spreadsheet. For CSV files or spreadsheets, the file size cannot exceed approximately 50 MBs. So we have a certain limit for CSV files and spreadsheets. For images, there is a limit of 20 images per file. Additionally, there are usage caps. Each end user is capped at 10 GBs. Each organization is capped at 100 GBs, etc., etc. And also note that users can upload up to 80 files for every 3 hours. This is for all the paid users. For free users, they are limited to 3 file uploads per day. Okay, note that we may lower these limits during peak hours. Okay, so yeah, and currently ChatGPT does not provide a way for users to check how much of their file upload quota has been used or is remaining. Additionally, to ensure a smooth experience for all users, we have also updated the file upload limits for projects based on the subscription plan. Okay, anyway, so essentially this is a quick workaround that, hey, if you are exceeding that limit, then just simply dump that into a doc or a TXT file or anything, upload that, and ChatGPT will process that file for you. But do note that if you are on the free plan, then yes, you would just get 3 files a day, 3 file uploads a day. A quick workaround for that can be that, hey, you can just create another ChatGPT account. Like, it's very common for people to have multiple Google accounts. So in a similar way, you can also have multiple ChatGPT accounts. But why just go through that hassle in the first place? I'm going to tell you a very simple method where you can just, get done with this easily. Okay, so let's say we have this book. Okay, I'm simply going to go ahead. I'm going to select all this text and I'm going to copy it. Okay. Now, if you are comfortable using Gemini models, And by the way, if you are just an average user who is not too concerned with what are the performances or how well does each model perform, then Google's Gemini models, they are as good as ChatGPT for most use cases. Okay, these models have kind of become a commodity now, that they are so good that it doesn't really matter that if you are using ChatGPT or if you are using Gemini, they will perform just as good for most cases. Okay, now what I do, why I am asking you to use Gemini, is that they have a ridiculous token limit of 1 million, and you get this all for free. You don't have to use any paid plan. You simply open up this link. I'll link this down below. You simply go to aistudio.google.com, and then this exact link will be present in the description, or even if you just open this link, you can make your way to a new chat easily, and then you just simply come here and you dump that entire information here. Okay, and then hey, it will just ask me that, hey, do you have the permission? And I'll say yes, I do. And yeah, it will count the tokens. I guess it will take a bit, but it will give you all the data that you need, everything that it will give you for free. You don't have to pay anything, you don't have to do anything here. And as you can see, we have almost you can see this is almost 858,000. So another thing that you have to keep in mind is that each AI model, so in case of Gemini, in case of OpenAI, they train their own AI models. So there is this thing called as tokenizer. What tokenizer means is that if you give it some kind of words, it will convert those to tokens. So each company has their own tokenizer. So earlier when we saw that, hey, that War and Peace has 587,000 words, for in case of OpenAI's tokenizer, that might mean that, okay, they give 587,000 words, means 587,000 tokens. In case of Gemini, that can vary, that, hey, okay, this means that 587,000 words might translate to 600 or 800,000 odd tokens. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. It's not a big deal anyway. What you just do is you just simply hit run, and that's about it. It will take a bit of a time. And here, another great thing about Gemini is that it gives you access to thinking models for free, right? You don't have to pay anything. If you're using something like ChatGPT, then it will limit the number of times you get access to a thinking model on the free tier, and you can see that it's now thinking, and hey, this, and there we have the output. In case of ChatGPT, we had to do weird workarounds like just dump text into a file, and then hey, I can just use temporary chat for this. But yeah, in case of ChatGPT, you can use workarounds that you can dump that text into a file, but then you will also have that limit of having 3 file uploads a day. In case of Gemini, you just go ahead, you can upload files that you want. And another great thing I feel about Gemini is that how it's beautifully integrated into the Google ecosystem. If you have files on Google Drive, then you can just upload it. You can upload files directly. You can record them. You have the camera option. You can also add YouTube videos, right? So yeah, a lot of things that we have. And another thing that if you go here, then Gemini 3 at the time when I was recording this video, Gemini 3 Flash Preview is the default model. But if you want to go ahead and use other models as well, then they have this Gemini 3.1 Pro. This is their flagship model. This is the best model Google has produced till date, which is at the time of recording this video. And they're also giving you access to it for free. And again, you get access to 1 million tokens, right? Which is a lot. I don't think anyone is going to hit this limit. But if you do, then yes, they provide, I think they do have a cap for Gemini 3. For their Pro models essentially here. I think currently it is like maybe 10-15 prompts a day that you can send for the Pro model. But I have never run into any limit with their Flash models, right? So they have this Flash Preview model, and they also have this Flash Lite Preview model. Now, essentially, a rule of thumb here, just to sort of determine whether a model is good or not, is that you can sort of compare their output token prices. So these prices are essentially, if you are sort of maybe using, there's this thing called as API. Now, what this means is that if you are building maybe a software or an application, and if you want to use Gemini's models for that application, then you will have to pay Google some amount for using these models, right? So that amount is essentially that if you are using this amount, then you will essentially be paying Google $12 for every million tokens. It's pro model outputs, right? And then if you go similarly, we have this 3.1 flashlight preview model. In that case, the pricing is the $1.50 for every million tokens. So that is also there. And so that price is almost like, this one is $12, this is $1.50. And then for Gemini 3 Flash, that is $3 for the million tokens, right? So the higher the pricing, it's usually the better the model performs. So Gemini 3 Flash kind of sits between Flashlight and Pro, and Pro is the best model that they have, right? And of course, if you want to even like just use the Pro model every time, then I'm pretty sure that at this point a lot of people have multiple Google accounts, so you can just use multiple Google accounts as well. So there is a workaround for that. But of course, if you have a lot of text and you just want to paste it, then you have got a couple of options. You can either use the file upload option that we covered. You just dump text into a file, feed it to ChatGPT, and it will it will process that text for you, or you just go ahead and come to something like Gemini and you use it. Another third way is that, yes, of course, if you want to get those enhanced memory limits, then yeah, you can simply upgrade to the Plus or the Pro plan, right? But keep in mind that the Plus plan that costs $20 a month, so that's $20 a month, and the Pro one costs $200 a month. Or you can just simply come to Gemini and you can use all the models here for free. And even if you sort of pay for ChatGPT, then also the limit that you get, the context window that you get in their Pro plan is 128,000. And here we inserted like almost 900,000 token file into Gemini. Okay. So yeah, that is there. So that's why I feel that you can just simply use AI Studio. Again, all the links will be down below in the description box. I feel this is the easiest way to process long bits of text or long piles of information that you have. So yeah, hopefully you found this video helpful. And yeah, lastly, just to reiterate that you can also enable the thinking toggle to increase that memory limit further. But yeah, then that is kind of like, pushing the boundaries a bit. But the easiest way to go about it is just simply use AI Studio, right? Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. If that was the case, then you know the drill. Like, subscribe, follow. Do make sure you subscribe. It sort of tells the YouTube algorithm that, yeah, this channel is good and it can push out the videos to more people. So do that. That really helps. And also like as well. And if you have any comments or any suggestions, then do drop those below. And if you want me to make a video on any particular subject, if you have any particular issues with AI tools, then I have been involved with AI tools, AI startups for almost a decade now, so I might be able to help. So do drop those suggestions below. Any thoughts, any questions that you have, I'll try to revert back to all the comments that you guys post. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you guys have a lovely day and a great week ahead, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.